Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. I leave for Saudi in about an hour's time. Looking forward to it. I always look forward to these trips just because these fight cards are so big, so many great fighters, but this one just feels extra special, right? It's been billed as the greatest fight card ever. It is in my lifetime. I can't remember anything this good. I said this the other day. Me and G-Man actually filmed a special preview which is going to go out on Tuesday. It's crazy for some reason, I don't know why, but we left off Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov. Like, we finished filming, was like, did we miss a fight? And we did miss a fight, so apologies for that. But yeah, me and G-Man were just thinking about the fight card, and we were like, Smith Boatsi is going to walk first. Smith Boatsi is going to walk first. That's how stacked this fight card is. Someone was doing the odds, because normally when you get these so-called good fight cards, there's always a big favorite in every fight. But someone was doing the odds, and I think the only big favorite in all the fights is Shakur Stevenson against Floyd Schofield. And I actually think that's going to be a competitive fight. All the others are like, I think a few are 50-50, and at worst, the others are 60-40. So I think the 60-40 ones are, I think, Dubois Parker 60-40. What else would you say is 60-40 on that card? I don't know, you know. Honestly, I don't know. I think the main event's 50-50 again. I think Dubois, Parker 60-40. Hamza Shiraz, Carlos Adames 50-50. Ortiz Madrimov 50-50. Jean Caballero 50-50. Boatsi Smith maybe 60-40. That's how stacked this fight card is. So yeah, can't wait to get out there for it. We do on Monday. It's not really an official day, but it's just interviews all day. I think I might be doing a face-off as well between Shakur and Floyd, which should be interesting. Tuesday, grand arrivals. Wednesday is the open workout, which sometimes there's a fight night in there. I think the last few have had sort of fight nights on the Wednesday. Thursday's the press conference. Friday, the weigh-in, by which time the fighters have just had enough of the week and just want to fight. Saturday, fight night. It's going to happen in the smaller arena. I don't know if you guys watched the Latino night. But yeah, that's a small, I think it's about 7,000 or 8,000, which I think is perfect. Honestly, I think the big arena is so nice, but it's almost too big. It's too big, so it loses the atmosphere. I think the small arena is just perfect for boxing. I think all the events in Riyadh should be at the small arena. So yeah, look forward to that. Again, me and G-Man did do a preview that's going to go out. It might go out on Monday. I might check it out on Monday. Episode 3 of Ade and G-Man is up as well. Go and give that a watch. It really helps. Go and like, share, leave a comment, all those things. If you haven't subscribed and you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well. All right. I do want to talk about Oleksandr Usyk. This news came out a couple of days ago. I think he was in London doing a bit of a tour, and he spoke about the fact he's only got a couple of fights left. We'll get to that, but there has been a lot of boxing over the weekend as well. Top Rank put on a card in Madison Square Garden, the small arena. Do you know what's crazy? Me growing up, New York was, Vegas always had big fights, but New York was like the Mecca, right? Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. There hasn't been a fight at the big MSG since Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Do you know how crazy that is? Like, again, me growing up, it was always big fights at MSG, the big arena. There hasn't been a fight at big arena MSG since Katie Taylor Serrano. And I felt with the names on this card, you almost felt like they could have done it. Like, you know, it would have been interesting to know how sort of famous a lot of these guys are. Remember, it's a card that had Jared Anderson, Abdullah Mason, KEYSHAWN Davis, Xander Zayas. I mean, you can't do big MSG. I mean, look, I think one of these guys will eventually headline big MSG, but yeah, interesting to know that MSG has not been used, big one, again, since Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, which, again, I find crazy. I did a video, me and Ariel on our show were talking about KEYSHAWN Davis, and I said, look, KEYSHAWN could be the best of them all. I said that, and I got a bit of stick, and I get it, because in that division is Vasily Lomachenko, is Shakur Stevenson, is Gervonta Davis. But there is something about KEYSHAWN. Number one, he's very big at the weight. Good amateur, we know that. Very confident, very, very aggressive. Good puncher. he's kind of got the lot. And now he's starting to build a profile. He's now a world champion. Fantastic performance against Berencik. I thought KEYSHAWN didn't get out of gear too. And Berencik just seemed to be almost confused by the style, the size, as I said, of KEYSHAWN. And then KEYSHAWN ended it with a body shot, and he's now a champion. And the only problem with this weight division, it's got 4 world champions, and I can't see any of them fighting each other. Like KEYSHAWN is not going to fight Shakur unless you give him a bag. Like, both of these guys are going to have to be paid, and I just don't see that fight happening. These guys are like brothers. Gervonta doesn't want to fight either one of those two, and Loma looks like he's retiring. So it's, again, 4 fantastic fighters, all kind of their own different styles. Like, you'd probably group KEYSHAWN and Gervonta over there, and Shakur and Loma over there, so you get boxers versus punchers. They're not going to fight each other. So I don't know what's going to happen. And then just below those guys, you have guys like Floyd Schofield. You have guys like Abdullah Mason. It's a good division. So we'll see what happens with it. Obviously, it looks as though Teofimo Lopez was the one. I'm not laughing about the banana thing, by the way, because Teo's just crazy. But I will say this, if you're KEYSHAWN, it's not bad having a name like Teofimo troll you like this. It could be worse things. Like, I've always said this. You're only as good as the person in front of you. You always need a dance partner. And when the dance partner potentially could be Teofimo Lopez at 140, maybe even 147 down the line, it's not the worst thing. Do I like what Teo's doing? Do I think he crosses the line? Yes, I do. But Teo will be Teo. Jared Anderson fought as well for the first time since that defeat to Martin Bakole. At times looked a bit shaky. I do wonder about Jared. It's not necessarily because of his ability, it's his desire. Like, I remember an interview a while back where Jared was already talking about sort of leaving the sport. Like, he's already sort of seen an exit, which it's not bad. Have an exit strategy, right? Have some money saved, stay in the sport for as long as you can, then leave. But I always find it weird when a young fighter's talking like that. This isn't a fight that's 32, 33. So, yeah, look, he got the W. Again, they're going to have to build that slowly back up now. But there's no rush to put him with anyone in the top 15. Almost just give him guys that give him rounds, get that confidence back up, and let's see where he is the back end of the year. Let's see if we can get a couple more fights in before, I don't know, September, October, and then we'll see where he is. Xander Zayas beat Slower Spomu. Stoppage was a bit early, I thought. I mean, there were... so I know his opponent was a bit, come on, like, ref, he's swarming me, but I'm kind of taking all those shots and riding with them. But I like Xander Zayas, I really do. I think he's a really good 154-pounder. He put his hand up to fight Virgil Ortiz when it looked like Virgil Ortiz was struggling for an opponent. Very, very talented. He's one of those guys, obviously Puerto Rican descent, I think could eventually fill MSG. You almost feel like the Puerto Ricans are waiting for someone to kind of jump to. They are. Obviously, Amanda's been doing fantastic, but they're waiting, I think, for a male fighter to kind of get behind. They're not going to get behind Belanga, I don't think. And I think Xander Zayas could be the one. Again, good win for Abdullah Mason. We'll talk about him later on in the channel because I think he's a fantastic talent. A lot of people are high on him. I'm one of those people. Very quickly on Nico Ali Walsh, obviously, look, the grandson of the great Muhammad Ali. That's another defeat. Is that 2 defeats? Is that 2? Or was it 1 defeat on his resume? I think it's 2, isn't it? Yeah, 2 defeats. He should have taken the Jake Paul fight when he had the chance. I know he dissed the idea of it. Like, I don't want to kind of take part in that circus. Jake Paul offered him a lot of money. I know that for a fact. I wonder if he can revisit that. It might be a bit too late, but I wonder if he can revisit it because don't look good for you, buddy. Don't look good for you. All right. There was, as you guys know, a fight card in Manchester. I was in Manchester covering it. Really good atmosphere. The fans turned out. I think there was about 8,000 or 9,000 in there, which, considering Derek Chisora had around the same amount, or maybe a bit more the week before, I thought it was surprising that fight fans would turn up back to back like that, but they did for Jack Catterall. In the end, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I thought Arnold Barboza was the right winner. It's difficult because I like Jack. I like Arnold as well. I met Arnold in Saudi Arabia. We had a good conversation. And then you kind of start to sort of see a fighter away from the ring. and you just root for them because of their backstory. And that's how I feel for both Arnold and Jack. But I thought the right person won. You know, with Jack here, and I was trying to sort of ask Tony, maybe I kind of didn't word it correctly, but I feel like there's more. Like, I'm watching him, and when he does kind of put it on an opponent, you're like, okay, cool. Punch power, hand speed, everything looks quite good. He comes in angles. He doesn't come in a straight line. He's kind of got everything to be so much more offensive. I think he's almost just a bit too defensive. Like, he almost plays that counter puncher thing too much. And I'm like, some judges don't like that. You're at home. There's a big opportunity. As I said, there was around 8,000 in there. This is the right to fight Teofimo Lopez, or I think the right to become a world champion, because I think Teo's going to go up. You need to do more. You need to do more, man. You're fighting Arnold Barboza, who's, you know, a big name-ish, an unbeaten American coming over. You need to put it on him. You need to say, welcome to my hometown, welcome to Manchester. And he just didn't do it. I know Sam Jones spoke about it could and maybe should have been a knockdown. No, I've seen it a few times. It was a tangle of feet. You know what the issue with that is? There was a body punch. So if a punch hits you, you're kind of on your way down and maybe you tangle the feet. But I thought the tangle of the feet came first, then the body shot. Could be wrong. I only saw it in real time. But yeah, Jack needed to do more. He needed to do more. Jack's fighting style it's tricky. But I think there's almost another level to be unlocked. It's just my take on it. I just think there's another level to be unlocked. Like, I left that arena disappointed. Disappointed for Jack, disappointed for the fans. Because I just, you watch someone, you think, well, 1 second, okay, you can do it then. Does that make any sense? Like, I'm watching Jack, and there were times when Arnold Barboza caught him, and Jack responded very quickly. And I'm like, oh, so you're waiting. Stop waiting and just be the first all the time. Like, why do you have to wait for Barboza to initiate his offense and attacks? Why can't you do it? So that's the kind of way I felt leaving. But very happy for Barboza. I went to go and see him in the dressing room after, and it's a big win away from home. Like, Jack's a legit top 5 super lightweight. You've gone away from home and you beat Jack Catterall. I mean, this is the best run he's been on. The Sean McComb fight still seems very weird for me. I was there at the Barclays for that, where I thought Barboza actually lost. But since then, he's fought Ramirez. Good win. Ramirez, former unified champion. And now you beat Jack Catterall. The 2 biggest wins of your career. And the next step, again, I think, will be him being upgraded to world champion. I mean, solid. I mean, that's the way. I've always said, look, there's so many world champions out there that win fights based off fighting kind of nobodies, right? Or are given belts. If you're going to win a belt, this is the hardest way to win. Go into someone's backyard. You're an underdog. Come on. So, look, credit to Barboza. I thought he was good all week. And look, Jack will be back. The good thing for Jack is, A, he's got a good promoter in Eddie. He's got a great manager in Sam Jones. And the 140 division is stacked. So it's not like, even if he drops out and fights someone in the top 15, it's going to be someone that's a name. Like, he could go in with Liam Parrow. He could go in with the loser, or Sando Martin, Alberto Puello. He could fight Dalton Smith. Some people said, okay, let's do that one now. So there are loads of fights out there for him. So not too much of a problem for Jack Catterall. All right, let's talk Oleksandr Usyk, the great Oleksandr Usyk, who has now said there are 2 more fights left. I still think it would have been perfect for him to bow out after Tyson Fury victory. I think it was just perfect. But he wants to continue. I get it, right? There's loads of money in the heavyweight division. I've always said this is probably the wrong time to not be fighting as a heavyweight, because there's always big fights. And if you're Oleksandr Usyk, right, and you've had a long amateur career and you've had, you know, a tough journey to get to the top, you want to start cashing in. Of the 2 fights, obviously, look, I think the first one's pretty obvious. The first one will probably be the winner of Dubois Parker, which means Alexander's got a chance of becoming undisputed again. What's going on with these mandatories, though? I've not heard anything about the WBA, WBO, or WBC. Like, surely they should be calling those mandatories. But anyway, look, he will fight the winner of Dubois Parker, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's a great fight, undisputed. It's a bad thing, because it means Oleksandr Usyk probably isn't going to fight until, February, the summer at the earliest. So that means we're going to get one fight probably from Oleksandr Usyk this year. The second fight is the one that intrigues me the most. And that's not looking past if it is Dubois or Parker, but I make Usyk favorite against fucking everybody. I'm not joking, everybody. The second fight intrigues me. Like, what could be the second fight? Like, I think Usyk's going to want to do something special. Honestly, I mean, there's talks of Alex Pereira. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He is the current light heavyweight champion in the UFC. Was a middleweight champion. I think could be the heavyweight champion. I think he's that good. Loves boxing. Literally goes from country to country, sparring a champion in countries. Go and watch it right now. I think he's either done a tour of career in Australia or he's doing it and he's just fighting people in the gym, no headgear, just fucking them up. So he wants to fight, or Alex Pereira was mentioned to him, and Usyk was like, okay, Usyk would destroy him, would annihilate him. So, but look, hey, if it makes money, it makes sense. I love the idea. You know, I've been talking a lot about an event in Africa, and for years, for me, it kind of made sense in my head that it'd be two Africans. I don't know why. I've always been like, okay, well, 1 second. Why don't AJ fight? Why don't Bakoli fight? Oh, Chisora should be there. Ngannou should be there. Maybe Wilder, who did like this fucking test and he revealed that he's, I think, 40% Nigerian. What about Usyk? What about Usyk? I honestly, the idea of Usyk fighting Bakoli, I'm not against that in Africa. And I just felt like it might even be more special or more different than AJ Bakoli. Like Usyk fighting in Africa would just be sensational. And he's got the type of character where I think the people would warm to him. Like he would go in getting booed and he'd leave getting cheered. He's kind of got that about him. So look, I wouldn't mind that either. But look, this is the end. We are seeing the end of this generation of heavyweights that we've all grown up watching. Like, we still don't know what's going to go on with Fury. You know, I'd love to see Fury say, okay, guys, you thought I was playing. No, I've retired, but Fury's kind of done. I know Wilder's coming back for another one, but he's done. Chisora's done. Zhang's 40, 41, done. AJ looks like he could be out as well. Usyk, like, this era is all over. And there's a new era of heavyweights. But Usyk was undoubtedly the best of this era and one of the best of all time. All right, shall we have a look very quickly and see what there is to talk about? Oscar Duarte. I didn't watch the fight against Miguel Madueno. Didn't watch it, but I did see the post-fight interview, and Oscar Duarte's calling it Arnold Barboza. Arnold Barboza's not. You think Arnold Barboza's waited all this time to get a crack at Teofimo Lopez and fight Oscar Duarte? Ain't happening. Although, I don't know if Oscar Duarte, where he is in the WBO rankings, but who knows? Oscar Duarte could fight Barboza for the title. Who knows? I do think it's more likely, though, that Barboza gets upgraded. Pat McCormack won, beat Robbie Davis Jr. Obviously, Robbie Davis, really a 140-pounder. There's not much left. I think that's it with Robbie Davis. I think his career's probably come to an end. And it was a good career as well. Let's not forget, European, British, Commonwealth champion at 140. Obviously, too small for 147. Pat McCormack's too big for 147, so there was a massive size difference. I like Pat. Let's just hope Pat can just fucking give us some fights, man. He only had one fight last year. That was October. But I think you see, when he puts it together, fucking good. Fucking very good. So let's hope that... Look, I think he's now... That fight was a final eliminator for Conor Walker. So potentially, I mean, you look at the 147 landscape now in this country, all of a sudden, it looks really good. I don't know what Conor Ben's doing. I don't think Conor will fight at 147 again, but let's just chuck his name in. Conor Ben, Echo Usman, Josh Taylor, Chris Kongo, Michael Mickinson, Pat McCormack, don't rule out Harry Scarf, Conor Walker. It's eight. Okay, remove Conor, because he ain't going to fight those guys. Still some guys there that can all mix up with each other. Really good division. Really good division. Horrible news about Joe Gallagher. Horrible news. Joe Gallagher basically revealed that he's got, I think it was liver cancer. Stage 4 liver and bowel cancer, I think. I always say that this life, I'm going to get all emotional now, but I always say that you just got to live this life, right? Just because you just don't know, do you? You don't know. You know, everyone, you never promised another day, ever. So just go enjoy it somehow. Enjoy it. Hang around people that you like. Do things that you like. Just because shit like this just happens and it's gone. But look, we wish him the best. Probably going to be seeing him in Saudi. Let's just hope that he can somehow make a recovery. But yeah, thoughts and prayers to everyone that's been around Joe. Like, he's trained so many people. Joe, I think people forget sometimes. People sleep on Joe Gallagher as a trainer. Joe was trainer of the year. I'm trying to, what year? I'm going to say 2016. Like, not many Brits win that. Not many Brits win that. He won that. I think he might have won it twice. We'll end on this one. This shocked me. Zelfa Barrett losing to Jazz the Dickens. It didn't shock me because Jazz is good. Jazz fucking looked massive as well, by the way, considering that he was the natural featherweight coming up to super feather. Zelfa, disappointing in Zelfa. Just didn't get going. And then you get to round 7, you're just too far behind, and then you start reaching for your shots and you start swinging for the fences and you look a bit all over the place because you're desperate now when your uncle's giving you the riot act, pat. And Zelfa was saying he would feel that he's underachieved if he doesn't become a world champion. He's far away from that now. He's a million miles away from that. I don't know if there's a weight issue there. I've always looked at him and thought, okay, you really should be at lightweight. I'm trying to find an excuse for him. It was a poor performance. I mean, Jazza was really good, but it was poor from Zelfa. Really, really poor. And they're going to really have to look at what they do next with him because... yeah, he's not looked good, has he? He's not looked good. Even in his fight against Jordan Gill, obviously he stopped Jordan right at the end. It was at round 10 to the body. But even up until then, Jordan was having his way a little bit. So Zelfa needs to find that hunger that we saw early. The reason he was cool flash, right? I mean, it was so fast. It was in and out. It was a bit aggressive. We need to find that again. Or it could just be to a stage where, Zelfa gets 34, 35 and he's like, fuck, I should have done more. Anyway, guys, girls, I have a plane to catch, so we will see you on the other side. Don't worry, I'm taking my tripod, taking the camera. We're going to be doing some filming out there. I've got proper mics. I've got these Rode mics. You know the ones everyone's got that plug on attached to your tops and to your hats and whatever. We got those as well. We're serious now. I might even take this mic as well, just in case, because this looks better.